welcome. My name is Stefanie Linhardt, Europe editor at The Banker, and I'm here today with my colleague Silvia Pavoni, The Banker's economics editor. We're here to discuss the June edition of The Banker magazine, and very much it is about what everyone's talking about. It's about the UK referendum on the EU membership. Now, Silvia, you've looked at Brexit a bit more in detail, and what would you say are the findings of the impact it could have on the City of London?
So the first thing to say is that the UK is a net exporter of financial services, and the biggest buyer is the EU. So the UK exports something like over 40% of its total exports of financial services to the EU, and this compares with around 26% that it sells to the US. It is allowed to do so also because of a right which is called passporting. There is a passporting right for financial services that is similar in nature and effects to what a free trade agreement has on goods. It is very much specific to financial services, and it is something that the EU has created as part of its single market initiative. So the UK is benefiting because of this. The ones who are supporting the idea that the UK should remain in the EU are using this as a strong argument, while the opponents, the ones that do want the UK to leave, are saying that actually passporting hasn't really worked as much as it could have, because, say, banks often feel that they need to have a physical presence, especially when they're selling retail banking products in the market. So what passporting is, again, it's allowing to sell from your base in the UK or from any other base within the EU to other member states without having a physical presence and without needing specific authorizations to do so.
Yeah. What impact would that have on the EU if a Brexit would happen?
For the EU, a lot of people are saying that perhaps a number of banks or financial service institutions anyway may relocate, may choose to base their European headquarters elsewhere. So let's take an example of an American bank that chooses London as its European headquarters. They're doing so because of the intrinsic values that London offers as a financial centre, very flexible, nimble legal system, quite a lot of expertise and a big network of ancillary services. But also access to the single markets. So that American bank, should these rights, the passporting rights, being revoked for the UK, they may decide to perhaps base their European headquarters in Germany. So this is something that has been mentioned. The same for other member states that are basing quite a substantial part of their banking operations in London. They may decide to relocate them perhaps in Luxembourg or Dublin, or spread out their presence across the Union.
Yeah. Well, I've spoken to some economists, some experts as well, about the impact on the economy, actually, in Britain. And across them, George Magnus, Citi's Willem Buiter, all of them actually said it would be quite bad for the British economy.
So it is true that the big group of economists, including the economists at the Treasury, the OECD as well, are all saying that Brexit may bring permanent economic damage to the UK. We also have other economists that have grouped under the name of Economists for Brexit that are claiming exactly the opposite. So the UK and London can flourish outside and will flourish outside of the EU. It's very much a heated debate. Now, we both know, talking to our contacts within the banking sector, that privately, most of them are saying that it's almost a given that the UK will stay. A lot of the polls also we are seeing are suggesting that the Remain campaign against the Leave campaign is on top. Phone polls are saying that the spread is even bigger, and if we then look at the bookies, the bookmakers, William Hill, I think, has something like 85 or 83% chance of a Remain case, a Remain scenario. So these different polls and surveys change, but it seems like the underlying tone is that the UK may indeed remain in the EU. Although we shall see, as you say, we are around 4 weeks from the vote, so anything can happen, of course, and emotions may run high, closer to the 23rd of June, which is when the UK citizens will be called to vote. So We shall see.
We shall see. Well, let's find out later in the month. Silvia Pavoni, thank you very much. And you can read more on Brexit and on all our other issues in our June edition of The Banker.